Long ago, in a quiet valley, lived the Stone Tribe. Life was simple. Hunt mammoth, eat mammoth, sleep. Then one morning, something strange happened. A young caveman named Gruk saw a mammoth near the river. It was big, hairy, and slightly annoyed. Gruk ran back to camp and shouted, "Mammoth near river!" The tribe listened. Everyone nodded. Good to know. But Gruk felt something. The tribe looked at him. He liked that feeling. So, next time, he told the story again, but slightly better. Mammoth near river. Angry mammoth. The tribe gasped. Excitement. Power. For the first time, a caveman realized words can hunt attention. By evening, the story had changed again. Mammoth near river ate 2 men. The next morning, mammoth eats 10 men. Soon the whole tribe was hiding in caves, even though no one was missing. Hunters stopped hunting. Farmers stopped farming. The tribe almost starved. But Gruk became famous. Every day, someone asked him, "What mammoth news today?" Gruk didn't know, so he made things up. Big rock fell from sky. Fire spirit angry at trees. Every story bigger than the last. The tribe started bringing him meat to hear more. He had invented something no caveman had before. Content. Soon other cavemen saw his success. One named Blag built his own news rock. He carved stories on it. River turns to blood. Cave ghosts attack at night. People came to read. Gruk got jealous. He shouted, "Fake rock news!" The first media rivalry was born. The tribe split into 2 sides, Team Gruk and Team Blag. Each believed only their storyteller. Even the shaman stopped talking to half the tribe because they don't follow real rock. As panic spread, the mammoths quietly grazed nearby, confused. The tribe's world was chaos. But Gruk didn't care. His audience was growing. And when his voice got tired, he hired his cousin to repeat the stories loudly around camp. The first, anchor. The Stone Tribe had invented not only news, but also the first newsroom. And now, a message from our sponsor. This episode of Stone News is brought to you by Rock Talk, the only reliable way to shout your message farther than a mammoth can run. Whether you need to spread panic, gossip, or important cave updates, use Rock Talk. Just climb hill, yell loud, and let nature carry your truth. Rock Talk. If you heard it, it must be true. Weeks passed. The tribe couldn't stop talking about news. Every night they gathered around the fire, not to hunt or plan, but to ask, "What happened today?" Gruk sat on his favorite rock, holding a stick like it was something important. "Breaking story," he shouted. "Big mammoth returns with army." The tribe gasped. "Army of mammoths?" someone asked. "Yes," Gruk said confidently. "They plan to trample everyone who doesn't share this story." The crowd screamed. Another successful broadcast. Blag, his rival, was furious. He needed bigger stories. So he announced that the sun was sick. "Sun getting smaller every morning," he warned. "Only my magic rock powder can heal it. Trade me meat for protection." Soon his cave was full of food offerings. He had invented advertising. The 2 newsmen entered an arms race. Gruk introduced exclusive coverage, a story no one else had. "Only on Stone News, river full of ghosts," Blag countered with expert opinions. He brought in the old shaman, who didn't understand what was happening but liked being on camera. "Yes," the shaman said. "Ghost River is real. I feel it in bones." The tribe panicked again. The panic brought attention, and attention brought meat. Hunters no longer needed became reporters. Gatherers stopped gathering and started fact-finding. Every minor sound in the forest became breaking news. Wind kills tree. Bird seen flying wrong direction. Sky may be falling soon. Soon the entire valley was filled with terrified tribes, each repeating the last thing they heard, slightly louder and slightly wrong. Gruk realized people liked stories with danger, emotion, and shouting, so he began every report with, "You won't believe what happened today." Listeners leaned in. "Fire spirit attacks from north," he said. "What should we do?" they cried. "Stay tuned," he said, even though no one knew what that meant. Then came the first news cave. Gruk painted all his stories on the walls. Drawings of mammoths eating men, volcanoes erupting, stars falling. People came from distant valleys just to stare at them. "Incredible art," they said. Very true. Soon other tribes opened their own news caves. The valley was now full of news, each more dramatic than the last. Accuracy dropped to near zero, but excitement was at an all-time high. With so many stories flying around, no one knew what to believe. So Gruk introduced a new segment, Experts React. He gathered 3 old cavemen who argued about mammoths. One shouted, one nodded, and one said, "I don't know." Viewers loved it. For the first time, news was entertaining. And then came the sponsors. Tonight's Ghost Attack update is brought to you by Fire Juice, the only drink that makes you shout louder. With every news story, more meat piled up. Gruk had power, fame, and 3 personal assistants whose only job was to say, "That's true, Gruk." The tribe believed every word. Truth was now optional. What mattered was being first. The Stone Age had entered the Age of Information, and nobody was safe from it. The valley was chaos. Every cave had its own news. Every rock told a different story. One cave shouted, "Mammoth army marches south," while another insisted, "River full of ghosts attacking the east." The tribe ran back and forth, trying to follow both. Hunters forgot to hunt. Gatherers forgot to gather. Even Chief Nog had no idea what was happening. Gruk sat on his rock, exhausted but pleased. His audience was enormous. Meat piled up at his feet. "The louder, the better," he muttered. But even Gruk could not keep up with all the news. So he hired more reporters. One shouted updates from the hilltop. Another ran through the village, flailing a stick for emphasis. The valley echoed with a constant roar. "Breaking! Fire spirit seen! Mammoth eating trees!" Meanwhile, Drog, calm and dusty as ever, watched from the edge of the forest. He scratched his head. "Maybe we should check before running," he said quietly. The tribe ignored him. "Quiet, old man," someone shouted. "This is news." The panic spread to neighboring tribes. Soon, 2 entire valleys were shouting at each other over mammoths and ghosts. Messengers ran between them, each exaggerating the stories further. A small rabbit became a giant beast. A broken branch became fallen god from sky. Tribes traded meat to hear the latest updates. Some even started paying Gruk to send news to distant hills. He had invented subscriptions. Then, the first real problem appeared. A fire started in the northern valley, caused by a panicked hunter running with torch too close to the grass. Everyone fled in fear of ghost rivers and mammoth armies. The fire spread to Gruk's cave. His drawings burned. His meat melted in the heat. He shouted, "Breaking news! Fire consumes news cave!" Everyone laughed nervously, then screamed when the fire jumped to their huts. At last, the tribe realized the problem. No one could tell what was real. The mammoths grazed quietly nearby, utterly unimpressed. Chief Nog called an emergency meeting. "We need truth," he declared. Gruk nodded solemnly. "Yes," he said, "but truth is boring." The tribe murmured in agreement. Drog, calm as ever, raised a hand. "Maybe we check before we panic." One mammoth, one story, one truth. Everyone stared at him. Then they laughed. Loud, long laughter. Truth had no voice in this valley anymore. Stories, exaggeration, fear. They were entertaining. That's what mattered. Gruk climbed onto his favorite rock, dusted off his stick, and surveyed the crowd. Tomorrow, he announced, we report bigger, brighter, louder. We will shout stories the mammoths themselves would be afraid to hear. The tribe cheered. Some brought more meat. Some brought rocks. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. And so, the first news channel did not die. It multiplied. Every cave had a storyteller. Every valley had a rumor. Some were true. Most were not. But that didn't matter because the tribe had learned the most important lesson of all. In the world, attention travels faster than truth. Gruk sat back, exhausted but satisfied, and muttered to no one in particular. Truth is overrated. Noise is eternal. The fire crackled. The shadows danced on the walls. The mammoths yawned. And the tribe, for all its chaos, could not stop listening. From that day forward, no one questioned stories. No one checked facts. People simply waited for the next shout, the next scream, the next tale so big it could make the sun blink. And somewhere, far in the hills, a quiet caveman shook his head and whispered, "Maybe one day someone will invent the mute button."